remember to record on both platforms this time. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I don't want that part in. All right, now here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Sunday morning, up bright and early.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not alone. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're in the Crowdcast live, if you're probably looking at the show notes, it is our friend, comedian, writer for a Black Lady Sketch Show, The President Show, Rae, The Good Place, and everybody still hates Chris. Rae Sanni, what's going on, girl?
Oh my God! When you read my resume, I'm a dope bitch,
right? That's what I'm saying.
You are I absolutely love you. It's like you don't understand. It's like I love your relationship with my husband. I know a lot of people go, "What's wrong with you?" But I absolutely, positively do, because it's just one of those things where the relationship is beautiful, the friendship is beautiful.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I just appreciate the closeness that you guys have, because sometimes people fail to realize it's okay. I know the relationship podcast tell you that men and women can't be friends with they're trying to fuck. I know tell y'all, but that's not true. You could be friends of the opposite sex.
Yes, you can.
So, I just appreciate, particularly you and Bison, just y'all relationship that y'all have with Roderick,
Oh, that's so sweet. That is such a sweet thing to say, actually. What's wrong with you? Who made you nice? Where did that come from?
And a lot of people, they might think that's wild or weird, but no, I really do appreciate that, because you need friendships outside of like your mate sometimes, like people that you can talk to. And like with you being in the industry, I know that you help Roderick kind of get adapted and kind of help to learn the language and things like that. And and as somebody on the outside looking in, I appreciate that. And also, I loved going to the Empire State Building with you. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think I really got to tell you how much of a ball and how much fun I had with somebody who was at the same excitement level as me. Because like when I do things like that, because the thing is, Roderick had a vision board, and he would like put all these things on his vision board. So me, actually, this is before I went to therapy. Instead of me getting my own therapist, I would copy the assignments that his therapist told him. So what I did, I got my own version of a vision board. And so in mine, I got like little icons that represented places around the world.
Okay.
And so one of them up there was the Empire State Building. It was like a little small thing, and I stuck it up there. And I remember when I went, I was like, I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I got to have that experience with you, because I was like, this right here made my day. And like I said, I'm on 10. For those of you that don't know, I'm on 10. When they be like, who put these goddamn souvenirs in here? Me, bitch. I'm buying all the goddamn pointless souvenirs, pointless keychains. I'm oohing it on. And so I just wanted you to know, I hate to take it over, but I was like, let me tell her this now. I really did appreciate you experiencing that with me.
That was really fun. There's this thing that happens, I think, when you grow up in New York City, in Brooklyn. I grew up in Brooklyn. And you like grow up fast, but then you stay a child. I feel like I'm experiencing perma-adolescence at the moment. Like I'm 36, but I don't feel it. My life doesn't reflect that. Right. And so it's just nice to, be able to be playful and young with other people in your age group or whatever. And when you're a native New Yorker, it's not often that you see the sights that people come to New York to see. And so I had never been to the Empire State Building. And so it was really nice to go, but to go with you and for you to be as enthusiastic as I was. I think you might have been even more enthusiastic than me, but that was delightful. And I don't know. I think in New York it's very easy there's this like cool, like I love it. I missed it when I lived in LA, but in New York there's this like cool ass like invisible visibility or visible invisibility where like you're in your head, but people can see you, but people also can't see you, and so you get to be private. You know, you put your headphones on, you're on the subway, people can see you, but you're also not seen. And sometimes it's nice to just, you know, be visible and then go look at things. So
yeah, it's funny too because like in Charlotte, I think this happens wherever you stay, right? Like in Charlotte, we have all this stuff around here. Like we're a decent sized city in this state. And probably like 5-6 years ago, I started being like, oh, I'll take a tour of my city. Like I've never thought about that, but like hopped on a bus and they drive you around and they just point out a bunch of shit I did not know. Like, I mean, stuff that seems obvious in hindsight, but just I took for granted. Where they're like, oh yeah, Church Street. It's named Church Street. It had 5 churches on it.
Yeah, and they was all fighting in the middle of the street. They was like, y'all, they was actually killing each other over churches. I was like, well, goddamn, I didn't like Queen Charlotte. You know, that's a black lady.
Yeah, there's a statue of Queen Charlotte and downtown. I didn't know, you know, this right as Bridgerton was coming out. And the lady was we had a black tour guide and she's like, yeah, you know, they said she was ugly. And I'm like, oh, so she was black. Okay.
Exactly. Oh, she had big lips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, actually, I did something similar last week. Oh, this is so dorky. I looked up like black literary events in New York, and I went to the Schomburg Center, which is one of the public libraries in Harlem, and I think it was like specifically donated by this guy Arturo Schomburg to keep records of like African American history in Harlem. And I'm saying African American in particular, like particularly Black American people in Harlem and, you know, America. And so I looked up Black literary events. They had, for James Baldwin's like centennial birthday, they had a 2-day conference, and like a fucking dweeb, I went to this 2-day conference just to fucking read and learn about James Baldwin. Like, and it was so fun. God bless you. It was so fun. I could, you know, I was so surprised that I did that, but that was like really, really cool. Like, they had experts. We watched documentaries. They, you know, talked about his activist legacy, what it meant to advocate for Black people. And they had people discussing what it means to advocate in the modern era, inspired by him, what it meant to be queer in this modern era, inspired by him. They had like a presentation from like an LGBTQ museum. Like, it was really fucking cool. And I was just like, oh man, I am 36. That was the one time that I felt 36, you know.
Is Schomburg, is that in Harlem?
Yeah, it's in Harlem. I think it's I think I took the 3 train to like 135th or something, but because I can go to Harlem often, it's like very easy, especially if you live in Brooklyn, to stay in, because I live in Bed-Stuy, so it's like very easy to stay in here. But it was so nice.
I think that's where we did, for game theory, I think that's where we did our Duke Museum, is in that same, they let us set up in the same like front area or whatever, and have people walk through and get the history, the real history of Duke basketball.
And Rae Sanni, I was going to tell you this: it is fun when you find your people, quote unquote. And guess what? You found out you wasn't alone when you went. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people get inside their own head and they be like, I know I'm the only one that like this. You get in here, you be like, oh, it's 50 of y'all too that think this geeky shit is just fun.
I will say though, everybody was older than me. Although there were some
right. That's what I was gonna say. It's funny when you find your people, but you get in there and be like, damn, these my people.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking, I'm not gonna lie, I just ended a romantic situation with somebody, so I was going in there hoping that I could find my James Baldwin loving husband, and no, I just found my no, exactly. The fight next time, I was going to tell it on the mountain that I was looking for a man. But what ended up happening is that I made a couple lovely lesbian friends. So
you never know. You never know.
It's funny. Came out of it.
I mean, I'm sure. You know, I shouldn't say that, Jeff. Nah, fuck it. It's probably a nigga in there that loved James Baldwin, but he was a white lady. You know, he's just. You know, Giovanni's room is his favorite word. So you know.
And you know, I encourage you to keep getting out there. You don't never know. Somebody might put out a poem in a book and start quoting and rapping to your girl. You don't never know. You might find your Knicks fan is in there, be like, girl, I love James Baldwin too. Let's go to the games. Keep trying.
You know what? That's where I'm gonna find my husband. I gotta find a Knicks bar with black people, because the Knicks bars in New York, they tend to have white people, and the Knicks bars with black people, they tend to be like football bars. I'm not really a football person, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna find my rich black husband at a Knicks bar in Harlem.
How you feeling about the Knicks and the Liberty, man? I've been watching like so much WNBA last couple of years. And when I was in New York, I watched a lot of Liberty games because that's like the local team and you can like see it on regular TV.
Right.
So I feel like, and we don't have the Sting, so we don't have a Charlotte team. So I feel like I've been low-key adopted the Liberty as my team.
Okay.
But now I low-key kind of feel like a loser because they keep losing. And like when they get down to the end, and they was up so much in the it was so little time
with like 5 minutes and some change.
Just watch them get walked down, and now I'm like, is this?
I mean, Lisa and Courtney are crazy, so I don't hold it against them. Okay. I love the Liberty. I don't know if I was on your podcast last year around this time. I don't know if I had done this yet, but my friend Morgan Murphy, really excellent comedian.
Yeah, I work with her on Game Theory.
Oh yeah, okay, great. I love Morgan. She's like the biggest women's basketball fan. She's like, there are a lot of new WNBA fans, which is fantastic, but Morgan has been there from the beginning. And I was actually a huge WNBA fan when I was a little kid, because I remember when there was a finals game. I think it was the Comets and the Liberty, and it was Rebecca Lobo, and Witherspoon was that team. I think it was Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson, maybe. And I can't remember. There was one other. There's like the Comets had a big three, if you could call it that back then. And I remember, like, me and my family, we were super into it. And I remember one time I was over at a childhood friend's house. We was at Rashi's house, and the night that Princess Diana died is the night that the Liberty lost the finals to the Comets, and that's like emblazoned onto my brain or whatever. It was devastating all around. Obviously, a car crash murder is the same as a basketball game, but I was into it a lot. What I love that I'm rediscovering as an adult is that things that I used to really throw me as a kid, I'm re-engaging with as an adult. So the WNBA, WWE wrestling, don't make fun of me. And like the Knicks, I'm re-engaging with baseball. I used to be a huge Yankee fan. I'm getting back into it, but I'm dipping with the Mets now. And like the Liberty are thrilling. And what's so fun is that the Liberty is getting like heat, in a way that like makes me feel like, one of the things that I love so much about the Knicks being in the playoffs is that it feels like all of New York is participating. Like all of New York is like thinking about Madison Square Garden, near it, talking about it, everything. And for the first time in a while, it feels like everybody's feeling that way about the Liberty right now. So that's really exciting. I'm sure Ellie the Elephant helps with that.
Yes.
Ellie is that bitch.
Is she?
And she's everywhere. You see her at Ciara concerts, Usher concerts. I'm like, okay, that bitch.
Like, who is in there?
Right. She getting flu. She go home and away. She was like, bitch, I don't care. I'm sure I'm coming.
Who is that?
I'm convinced Ellie is a black gay man on the ballroom scene. That's what I think. That's my theory.
Yes. Yes.
And so, but I do be wondering, because I am an egotistical comedian and I don't act because I don't want to be somebody else. Now, does Ellie get tight when she's invited to shit in costume, but she don't get to, like, I want to be at the Usher concert with my face, not with an elephant on me,
I feel like if you are Ellie, the person in the costume, there has to be like some type of super tight like contract, like you can never
Yes.
take
You
off.
can't ever reveal, right?
Like if they find out who you are, it's just basically over. We'll find
Right.
someone else with the costume. Because I think we all had the same question, which is who is in there having that much fucking fun?
Having a
Right.
ball.
And it's like, okay, so one of my things is I want to be, I'm probably never get there. Well, no, let me not speak negatively, but
Right.
I want to finally, if it'll happen when I'm like 45, but that's okay. When
Speaking of
I want to have a do you know who I am moment, and
come on.
you don't get to go to the front door of an exclusive club being yourself when the who you are is Ellie the Elephant. Like, do you have to walk around with like some I'm secretly Ellie, show them a badge or something? Like
Ellie gets kicked out of a club as just their regular person, but then they come back in the costume and be like, "Do you know who the fuck I was when you kicked me out?"
If only Amanda Seales had brought her Ellie out mask, she would have that quality.
You know what? Yeah, she definitely would have got some points back.
I low-key would have been on Ellie's side if Ellie was out here like, listen, Issa Rae should have intervened and got me in the club. Like, man, I don't know why Issa can't do better.
I mean, come on now. I mean, this is Ellie, and child, I ain't nobody, but child, I almost had "Do you know who I am?" on because of Roger. Child, I had went up to get in the game theory, and the dude said I wasn't on the list. Child, I was out there. I almost said, "Bitch, do you know my husband right for the show?" But I said, "You know what, man, don't do that in front of these poor people." So I was calling her because I was like, I was already nervous and scared and shit too. Walking the streets of New York City by myself for the first time, I was like, "Oh, we ain't having all this."
Now, Rae, you are writing for the new show.
Yes.
Everybody Still Hates Chris. It's animated. Is it a continuation? It's not a reboot, right? It's a continuation of it, or like
my boss calls it a revival.
Okay.
And so it picks up where the show left off. So the final episode, they kind of did an imitation of The Sopranos, where Chris, may or may not have passed a GED, and then they did a blackout, and I'm sure people were throwing things at the TV screen or whatever. So we pick up right there, and we find out whether or not Chris passes the GED, and then Tashina Arnold as Rochelle smacks Chris into animation, and now the show is a cartoon, which is fantastic.
And y'all got like the voice time, like y'all have the voice actors who are the real actors from the original.
minus the kids.
Right. Well, yeah, because that wouldn't even really make sense. Like Tyler would
He's
not
a man. He's a man.
He's a man with his arms out in the front.
Looking sexy on red carpets and shit. I'm like, I'm supposed to be that. I thought the whole point was that you were a dweeb. We didn't want to fuck. What happened?
Right, exactly.
But I think they have some like EP credit and stuff. I think my boss was really good about wanting to include everybody on the show, and Chris Rock too, like was so emphatic about holding on to the feel of the show. And I know that it sounds crazy that a cartoon would feel like a sitcom from the early 2000s, but it really does. And I was like looking at what people who were watching online were saying. They were like, yo, the jokes are similar, like the vibe feels the same. It's so nice to hear Julius and Rochelle's voice, and that makes me so happy, because it is so hard to honor a work that existed before you. And I'm, in retrospect, like I'm so much younger than the people who wrote on the original show. So you worry about your like millennial humor sneaking into something that works so good with Gen X humor or whatever. But, when you immerse yourself in the original material and you sort of like really, really study, and then you have the same voice actor, I mean, down to, what's his name? Gosh, now I'm blanking on his name, but, Mr. Omar, the actor from What's Happening, he was still doing it. Your boy's like probably pushing 80, the actor who played Huggy Bear, he's on there. Like everybody came back and everybody embodied their old selves. I mean, gosh, like I remember when we did a table read for the pilot, everybody was just so grateful and happy to see each other. Like, like it was so nice. It was so nice.
It's interesting too, because I feel like in the last few years we've gotten this kind of like, and I'm sure.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm sure it's just because we're getting older or whatever, but like stuff that I remember during my formative years as to me existing as like a singular moment in time, we're now revisiting those things, right? Like Bel Air got a serious version of the Fresh Prince, basically. We had the Good Times reboot that was cartoon. Which how is that affecting this? Because I feel like the response to Good Times was like very like negative and people were down on it, and it's a similar like, oh, we took a live action sitcom, turned it into a cartoon, but trust us, it's gonna be good. And then people watched it and was like, or saw the trailer even, it was like, it's not good. Are y'all having to deal with overcoming the trust gap with the audience to be like, yo, but this is more of a spiritual successor. We did think about it. It is funny. It is not gonna like take this old IP and just like bastardize it for like our purpose.
Okay, so I would say, so one, when I was at this James Baldwin conference and made friends with lesbians, they asked me, these lesbians, what I do for work, and I told them that I'm a TV writer and that this show was what I had worked on most recently. And one of the women, she was just like, oh, I loved y'all's pilot, and it definitely wasn't Good Times. She said that out loud, and I was like, oh wow. And I'm not saying that on some like haterific shit, because I watched a Good Times reboot on the internet.
I did. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I did it for all of them. I watched every single episode.
So I don't have to. Rod did it. Okay. But I think, there's a cynical aspect of this stuff where, oh man, how honest do I want to be? Okay. I just got to protect my career,
don't do nothing stupid. This is not the show. What? We not DJ Vlad. I don't want to.
I'm not trying to myself. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you kiss and gigs yourself.
Okay. We'll boot you out of here for you say something stupid.
Thank you. But what happens a lot, I think I've seen, this is just my observation of the industry, is that the industry is overrun now with people who are in private equity or hedge funds or whatever, people whose primary interest is making money as opposed to making art. And with art, no matter how big the sponsor or the production or whatever, you are taking a gamble, especially when something is original. And so there's a cynicism to the nostalgia porn, old original IP stuff that people are doing. They are taking safe bets as opposed to taking bets. And so I think a lot of this stuff, like a thing like Good Times, I'm sure there was like a perfectly interesting idea. I'm saying this just from my perch in New York. I don't know what the fuck happened. That happened in LA. I don't know. I only know like one of the writers. But I'm guessing there was like an interesting cartoon idea. There was all right, well, let's use IP that already exists so that we can bring in an audience that already exists, as opposed to doing the hard work of trying to build a new audience. And is in this oversaturated age where people are watching TikTok instead of original stuff. And
as a person who watched it all, that's exactly the ultimatum. Like that's the verdict I came down with at the very end. Was like someone had another idea, but it was like sprinkle some Good Times on it, and then we'll like, and they had a pretty good voice cast and everything, but like the idea was not really off of Good Times, in my opinion. Like it had so little to do with the original, and it barely pays homage to the original. It doesn't feel like a continuation at all. It's like they like go through a convoluted explanation of like, oh, this is 3 generations later, and we barely even know those characters from the original. None of them come back, and so it definitely felt that way. I just recently saw the second Joker film, Joker Folie Dieu, and a similar thing with that Todd Phillips' Joker movie is like he had a movie idea, I think, of making Taxi Driver, you know, like Robert De Niro, like he wanted to make that type of film. And he went to wherever he shopped it around, and they were probably like, I don't know, who wants to see Taxi Driver in fucking 2019, bro? And he was like, what if we called it Joker? And he wore some makeup in the third act. And they like, that shit could work. And not only did he make Taxi Driver his original Joker, which you know was pretty, it was like critically acclaimed. I think it even got nominated.
I didn't see it, but I heard a lot of people enjoyed it. Yeah,
I watched it. I thought it was good. Like, you just have to ignore the online like back and forth bullshit about people fighting on it. But the second one, and now in all these interviews is coming out, he didn't really want to make a second one. They were like, the first one made a fucking $1 billion. You got to do something. And then the second one becomes more pronounced, and now he's in interviews saying shit like, well, it was never really a Joker film. He was never the Joker.
Which is crazy.
Which is
crazy. Even you know, the industry's been slow at the moment. It's kind of at a standstill. I think, you know, the industry's lost a lot of money chasing streaming success.
They're convincing now.
And, you know, they finally realized, like the Writers Guild has been trying to tell them, that Netflix is a once in a lifetime chance, and you will not make Netflix again. So, so I think, you know, they're pulling back on, you know, things that they're greenlighting. And my agents and management have been like, well, you know, look up what properties Paramount has, and maybe write a script geared toward that, and then maybe we can set up a general with you, and you can pitch them an idea. And it's like, no, man, like I just want to do art and make my own shit and be interesting and stuff. And so, LOL, I haven't sold anything. So.
And you know what? That's okay, because the thing is, it's like a catch-22, because like you say, the studios, they don't want to lose money, and you was talking about taking gambles and taking bets. They have to follow the money. The audience, like the movie going public, they've showed they don't come out unless they know it's gonna be good shit. Like physically go to the movies anymore. And so it's like a lot of the stuff that makes a lot of money is either something that's like a second or a third, or something like Mario, which there'd been a lot of Mario movies, but this was like one of the first good Mario movies. And this is not, and if I'm not mistaken, this
John Leguizamo is gonna be so angry that you said that.
But it is though. I mean, I seen them shit.
Well, first, when I was a kid. Well, that's because black people got it too easy. They get everything. Until the real victims of Hollywood are
pretending to be an Italian plumber. What is that about?
The real victims are white passing Latinos, as we've always said in history. I think James Baldwin would agree.
You know what? Nintendo said, "Give us back our shit. We gonna make a Mario where we own everything." And so I think that's why this the last Mario movie was good. And people say they want original stuff, and people do like original stuff, but it's kind of hard because, like you say, it's like a sea of shit.
Well, I think as Rae was alluding to earlier, it's everyone trying to be their own Netflix that just kind of messed it. It just kind of diluted the pool, because I would say probably every single streaming service has one or two like super good hidden gem type shows where it's like,
true,
oh my God, this is so good. And we all know, we all got our one somewhere, but it's not a collective thing anymore because it's not a centralized place where we go.
Right.
It's like how HBO is one of the reasons HBO still can be HBO is because it's a centralized thing where everyone's like, oh, if it's on here, it's probably good. I'll give it a chance. We all know it comes on. But
even then, like it feels like there's been a dilution of the HBO brand.
Yes.
It's Max now because the hedge fund guy David Zaslav took it over, and then they combined with Time Warner or Warner something, and Warner Brothers Discovery, and so now it's on the same streaming platform as 90 Day Fiance and so like I actually personally, which sounds really crazy, but I had a personal anxiety about the dilution of the HBO brand. And I remember House of the Dragon this year, you know, you know, I like the dragon shows, even though I don't like dragons.
Right.
But I remember like that finale pissed me off. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting here trying to figure out like what happened? How did this happen? How did this happen? And it turns out that like during the making of this second season, they got their episodes cut because they had to save money. So why do they have to save money? Because Warner Brothers Discovery lost so much fucking money on so much other shit. And I'm just like, man, do you remember when HBO would just spend all the fucking money on
Yep.
their shows because they could guarantee that this would, you know, they would make it back tenfold or get the prestige of the like Emmys and all of this stuff.
It's
But
funny
now
because the streaming, they let the chase for streaming dilute the thing that they
made
had.
special, yeah.
The thing everybody else was chasing. Like
Yes.
people were chasing the HBO logo of like,
Yes.
if you
You
put
remember
this
that,
logo,
what is it that like the TV and it's like and then it's
yeah,
like or whatever. Yeah.
like that shit means something. It meant something, and people
Yeah.
were chasing, like every other streaming service and stuff was chasing that idea of like, when you see our logo, you equate that with
Yeah.
greatness. You will
Excellence.
go up and you will be there and you will watch it when it premieres, and to be the place that had it and basically give it up.
Yeah.
So
That's
you can be like, no, come get our streaming service. It's now called Max. It's now like, and
yeah.
I remember like
The
when it
fact that
first,
you would take the HBO out of Max because HBO
yeah,
Max was the name of the streaming service
yeah,
before they changed it. And it's just like you've just promised me that we have significantly less prestige. And and whatever. I don't mean to be like all, you know, hoity-toity about it, but like I remember in my childhood what it meant to like see that
yes,
and go, oh man, Oz is about to be fire, or The
yes,
Yes.
Wire is about to be lit, or The Sopranos is
Yes.
about to be lit, or even smaller stuff that people
yeah,
don't remember, like what is this show? Like something about dead, you know, like
6
there were
feet under.
just yes, exactly. Like all of this stuff and like I feel like right now it feels to me like the only other place chasing that prestige in the same way is FX.
Yeah,
And FX has its own deals with like Hulu and all this stuff, but in the same way, I feel like The Bear is paying for other things, you know,
yeah,
or like Atlanta paid for other
yeah.
shows. And so I just remember a time
I
where
think
like
I think FX and Apple TV are both like, well, we'll spend the money to have the prestige because Apple spends a lot of fucking money
but Apple
to
also
just
has
be
a
like,
lot of money to spend,
yeah,
right?
of
That's
course,
because
yeah. I mean, I'm only speaking from a viewer's perspective. Is
oh, okay.
if I'm
But
sitting at home and I see the like, oh, this shit on Apple TV, there's a
it's
chance that
probably
I'm watching
good.
it. Like they at least took the effort to try to make something good. There's so many streaming services now where I'm like, they could have just thrown that on there.
Right.
I don't even know. And shit, Netflix is one of them now. It used to not be like that, but Netflix has somehow diluted enough to where you're like, could be good, could be bad. The
Well, see,
documentaries they put out this year have been so like washed down where I'm like, yo, it meant something like even 3-4 years ago for a Netflix documentary.
yeah, do you remember How to Make a Murderer? Um,
Yeah,
but so you know what I learned the hard way through the strike and just reading about stuff, and obviously I still my brain doesn't wrap itself around this stuff, but these are like not that there was never money in the game. It was always about making money. But
of
like the
course.
old school studio system and the old school like networks television system, they wanted to make money while making good content, right? But Netflix is ultimately a tech company. So are the other streaming services. And so their interest is algorithms and audience patterns and how to generate the biggest profit without investing too much. And then they invested too much and lost so much money. I mean, Disney lost so much fucking money. It's crazy. But like they're not primarily art places anymore. And so you're seeing that. And then even when things get acquired by bigger entities, they might promise you, I'm not speaking with knowledge, I'm just wondering, they might promise you that you get to hold on to be HBO and hold on to that prestige. But then when David Zaslav is losing TNT deals and NBA deals, and you're losing so much money on other things, then all of a sudden HBO doesn't get to be HBO anymore, and now we're cutting 2 episodes off of the most money generating product on the network.
Yes, and I've opened up my third eye, and I've said this from the very beginning, and I'm gonna stick to my guns when I say this. When they took off HBO, Roger can be my witness. I got them complained about it. I say, why did they? I say the second they took off HBO, I say, y'all, the quality is going down. I say Warner Brothers, they make reality TV. I'm not knocking that shit, but reality TV is cheap TV television. All jokes aside, it's really cheap television. It's still, you still have writers and staff and all that shit, but it's cheap. So you got somebody that owns you that's cheap. And so when they bought you, they was like, we cheap. We got this expensive ass shit, but we don't want to spend no money on it. We want to come in, make a profit off your name. So what they did, they was like, well, if we keep HBO on there, that means we got to motherfucking spend money, because people ain't going to tune in the HBO like you said and expect lesser than. So they stripped that off, and so you slowly started seeing things like, all of a sudden they started selling the shows. All of a sudden they started going across streaming service. Why? Because you want to make money. All of a sudden they started taking shit and writing it off, taking shit and not releasing it. Just did not
that was crazy too.
Right, like it didn't make sense to me. So in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, you stripped HBO.
The David Zaslav who runs Warner Brother.
Go ahead.
Did you hear something? I didn't hear it.
No. It's the sound is weird through Crowdcast. I just played a sound clip of the open your third eye thing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
You messed with me because I opened my third eye there for a second, but I'd be like, hey, this is some bullshit. Don't take off HBO.
Well, so the guy is David Zaslav, who runs Warner Brother Discovery. He was a hedge fund guy. He is a finance guy, right? He was never a TV executive before he was a TV executive, right? So he's a private equity hedge fund guy, and he comes in, he makes TLC go from the Learning Channel to TLC, if you understand what I mean. I don't know if you guys are reality TV fans like I am, but TLC used to be like, ooh, crazy emergency room stories, and
learn on TLC.
And then now it's like 90 Day Fiancé's 90th spinoff, where maybe this Nigerian man is getting abused by his Georgian racist wife, and we've been watching Abuse for 6 years, and that made Discovery a ton of money. And so then now you combine that with HBO and stuff, thinking that you can keep generating the same profits, and that's just not what's going to happen. And I also think too, and maybe this is my naivete, but I do think that there's this reckoning happening. It's bubbling under, so I could be wrong, but I'm noticing a pattern with audiences wanting quality again. I think I've been seeing, like, maybe I'm just seeing it with stand-up in particular, but there used to be the kind of, and it still exists, but there's like the kind of stand-up that goes viral on like TikTok or Twitter or wherever. I don't know. I think the young kids are back using Snapchat. My sister does anyway. But there was a certain type of comedy that was going super viral, and it created, and I don't mean this as shade, if you like him, God bless you, Matt Rife. It kind of propped up your Matt Rife types, or a certain type of comedian. But then he got like immense backlash when his Netflix special wasn't particularly strong. And now I'm seeing the emergence of guys that I knew before and really liked, like a Sam Morril, or a Shane Gillis is doing super well because the jokes are great. This Taylor Tomlinson, she's excellent. And like, people want to see quality stand up. And then I'll go on YouTube or I'll be on TikTok, and then you'll see young kids like Gen Z be like, this is not funny. And they're talking about the guys who go super viral as opposed to the people I just named. And so I think that there's a desire for quality. And I don't know, obviously I'm not in the rooms where they're doing market research and when they're testing what audiences want or testing algorithms and stuff, but it looks to me like people just want quality television again. I don't think it's an accident that a show like The Bear is doing so well. It is not funny. You have to pay to watch it, and it's still so very popular because people want to see well-written stuff. Abbott Elementary is so popular because people want to see well-written stuff. And I think that it's so disappointing because there's a chicken and egg thing that happens where it's like the executives are telling the audience what they want, and so then the audience are thinking that that's what they want, and then that's what the audiences are telling the executives that they want. And I don't think that that's true. I think that it's so, like, when you get something really cool that takes off, instead of like making either bastardized versions of that thing, which often happens too. You get like a show like Atlanta takes off, and now every executive wants a black show like Atlanta, or Insecure takes off, and every executive wants a black show like Insecure. Why don't you go, well, we took a bet on Insecure and that went well, and we took a bet on Atlanta, that went well. Why don't we take a bet on another thing? But they don't want to, and I don't know how it makes sense that when you're making art, you don't take risks. Is the whole point of art is risk.
From the top level view, I read this book called After the Gig, about the gig economy in these Silicon Valley like companies, you know, like your Ubers and your Airbnbs and stuff. And the way that those white men who run those companies view the world is, we should do something that is illegal, but we'll say it's just new technology, and we basically do something illegal before the law can catch up with us.
Okay.
And we hope we have enough market share that by the time the law and Congress and everything, the slow moving, you know, way that works, by the time it catches up with us, we'll hopefully have too much power for them to do anything. Like that's basically why Uber like took over taxis in so many cities, because it was like, there's regulations on taxis. There's shit you can't do. You got to pay people a certain wage and all that stuff. Uber just comes in and says, what if we don't? And y'all can't do shit about it, because we're just going to be like, y'all didn't write a specific law against using your phone to do this. And I think a lot of the Silicon Valley tech guys, that's what these companies are now. So like a Netflix is about market share. You basically invest a shit ton of money into all these properties. You just buy up as many shows as you can. And then you go, well, we have 50% of the streaming market. Anyone who tries to create a company after us, they're never going to get to where we are, even if we do our brand. And then that's when the cuts come, right? That's when it's like, why the fuck are we going to keep Stranger Things 13 episodes or whatever the fuck? That's just, I made that hypothetical example. But it's like, now it's 8. You know, like fuck. Now it's season 6. We don't have to pay writers. Why? Because this technology wasn't around when y'all wrote y'all's WGA. Like when y'all came up with that deal with the studios, that's old technology. This is a completely new thing. But I'm like, it's still I'm in a writer's room. I'm here for a certain amount of episodes. I'm like, how is it different? No, you wouldn't get royalties because these are streams, and streams are different than
that's why they don't show numbers and shit.
So I think that reading that book really opened my eyes to that formula, and I see it in everything now. And all you're doing right now is really watching that mentality and those guys enter a space, and they're disrupting it with shit like not paying writers and not paying actors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the Elon Muskification of it all. So what I've been thinking about lately, let me get on my fake deep. It's my third eye now.
Open it up.
I with AI in particular, which is not going to work. It just won't work. But
AI is a scam.
Is a scam. But with the intention behind AI, there's also a very long Washington Post piece about John Altman, or is it Sam Altman, who is the guy behind like convincing people, and they're like, this is a money pit. Why are you sinking money into this bogus? But anyway, I'm glad that they're catching on to him as quickly as they are, because you know people like Elon have been grifting for 20 years. But what is
it's Theranos all over again.
Exactly. But what I've been thinking about is the in the social media age, in the internet age, in the AI age that we're in, it's a new way of monetizing people being human, and
Right.
like and siphoning off of that. Like uh it's like we're gonna turn whatever makes you human into a thing that we can synthesize so that we can generate profits off of that, as opposed to investing in the human aspects of people, right? So like, yeah, a taxi is uh, a way of like human interaction, providing a service or whatever, and Uber gets to come in and capitalize off of that in a way that the human driver doesn't get to anymore. And so is the case with fast food restaurants, and like the cashier experience, and like even art now, AI. We're gonna make money taking the human out of the human thing, and that's really scary, first of all.
And it's scary that a person could be in charge of something so relying on the human like experience, on the human ingenuity, and be like, you know what the problem with this whole industry is?
Those humans.
These fucking people. Like,
Yeah.
if we could just get them out, and we could just, me, the executive, hit a button on a machine.
A human, by the way.
Right, who will never lose their job and should make all the money.
Yeah.
And I should hit a button on a machine, and it should spit out a product that goes straight to the people, and I never have to pay anyone. Is like such a crazy thing.
It's such a sinister, cynical thing. It's so sinister and cynical. Yeah.
And it's impossible, because out of everything that you're talking about, Roger, shit gonna break, shit not gonna work, shit ain't gonna go right. They said shit about it hallucinating. Then you're gonna pay somebody to fix it. But then, bitch, you could have hired me in the first place.
Yeah, that's the thing. They like, I remember during the WGA like initial like starting of negotiations, it was like, well, what one of the proposals is, you let the AI write it, but then you bring in writers to like
to revise it.
Yeah, as like but not as writers, but like as contractors. Like,
yes, exactly.
No longer paid as like a writer, where you have like your insurance and your promise of this many episodes. It's like, no. You look at this revised with the computer wrote, you still don't get any of the real credit,
right?
And then we don't have to pay you either. It's
but
like,
also the computer wrote it based off of what they've learned from works that human beings wrote in the first place.
Right.
It was an ancient Greek playwright who came up with the 3-act structure, but now this computer gets to pretend that wasn't true, and that they came up with 3-act structure, and that that's crazy. And I don't know. This is a silly thought, but I've been trying to follow this to this logical end. And if you replace human workers, laborers of any kind, writers, farmers, everybody, with machines, who is going to have money to spend on the product that you are making? If I cannot earn a living because you've replaced
the economy.
yes.
Like, I'm sitting here trying to understand what they're getting at. So like, the only people who are going to be able to afford Netflix are like crossing guards. Are they going to replace crossing guards with technology? Like, who's gonna pay for streaming?
I saw this thing last night with Elon Musk was unveiling, or I guess the police were unveiling like a cyber truck for the police, and then the day before that, Elon Musk had some type of event where like these iRobot looking ass robots were supposed to.
Did you see that the Tesla stock plummeted right after that conference?
Yes.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
What I thought was funny about it though was the robots were doing stuff like bartending or whatever, and then people were, these fucking idiots were taking selfies with it, like, oh, and then it was like programmed to like throw up 2 fingers for a selfie or something.
And now you won't ever see a bartender at your bar around the corner anymore. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. And it's still gonna have that tablet when it gives it to you and be like 20% tip. Yep. But it's funny that people like are joyous or happy about that, because I'm just like, so slavery. We just bring back slavery and we're just calling it something new. We're disrupting it, and now nobody's gonna have a job to buy the drinks or whatever the fuck. Like, I think in the elite people's world, what they're really saying is you guys are just automatons to us.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk never pictures himself needing a bartending job.
Right.
A human being who needs cash tips. None of his plans give a fuck about those people. All of his plans are like, what would it be like if I, a rich man, could walk into an establishment and a robot would fucking...
I never had to talk to a human because I'm the most awkward fucking loser on the planet.
Right. What if I could program them all to like me? What if that...
Exactly. Oh my God. Has Elon created Tesla because he doesn't know how to do small talk? Oh no!
Right. He got tired of getting in cars and getting kicked out. He got tired of being like, get the fuck out, bro.
Yeah, a woman be like, you look weird. You sound weird. What's wrong with you?
Like 2 blocks in when he's talking about how we all need to repopulate the earth with rich men having as much babies as they can. They're like, why don't you just get the fuck out? And he's like, I got to create a robot. I need a...
Exactly. Oh my God.
I can't interact with this 25-year-old. No, sir, you can't.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. Well, anyway, that's reboots versus the original, guys. That's
so I forgot where we started. Anyway, please watch. Everybody Still Hates Chris. It's on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. And God bless me, I forgot where to get it the next day. But they've also been airing some episodes on YouTube. You can find them for free there too. I really like the show. My episode airs this Wednesday at 10. I think mine is the 10 o'clock episode. They air 2 episodes each night. So mine is the 10 o'clock episode. You'll really like it. If you haven't watched before, I just give it a shot. I know pilot episodes are hard, especially when you are re-engaging with something that you used to love or used to know. But I think you'll really enjoy it if you just give the second, third, fourth.
So, Comedy Central is where we can go, because this is where I was having a hard time finding it. Which is just another consequence of all the
services.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of the breakdowns and like, oh, it's on this, but it's not on that. So I believe streaming, you can get it on Fubo TV. I looked it up before the show, but knowing that it's on Comedy Central, I still have cable, so I'll be.
Yeah, well, I still cable too.
People.
I appreciate that because I didn't know where to watch it on just regular TV.
Yeah. Watch it live on Comedy Central. Please do. I like residuals. God bless me. We got a better...
We need those.
The residuals are nice.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. When that motherfucking green check show up every...
Yes. It's a green envelope. Isn't that nice?
Listen, when that motherfucking green envelope, the way I throw the other mail away...
Exactly.
It'd be like birthday cards. It'd be like, hey, it's your mom and dad. We love you. I'm like, get this shit out of my face. What? How much did we get this week?
Yeah. No, honestly, so I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do this, but even though I have my own apartment, all my mail goes to my parents' house. So, so my mom will always, whenever she sees a green envelope, she'll be like, Rafa, we got something good for you. And she'll send me a screenshot,
Come to the crib. It's an alert. The money alert has hit.
Yeah.
Now, the residuals is good. I appreciate working in that industry for a little bit, even though, it wasn't like my dream or my plan or whatever. But once I got those checks, I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. That's what it's about. Because, during it is just like, you get your weekly check, which is still a good check. I mean, to me.
It's just sexy checks weekly.
Yeah. That residual joint, that's the one.
Yeah. Well, so, the industry's at a standstill at the moment. Not a lot of stuff is getting made. So a lot of people are out of work. Myself, I'm not writing at the moment. Fingers crossed for season 2, you guys. And but the those green checks come in so handy. Like the other day I was like, oh man, my Con Edison bill is so high because of the air conditioning I was using all summer. And then I got some checks from a Black Lady sketch show, and I was like, let's go.
Right. That's the truth. Let's motherfucking go.
Right.
When they be like, you know what? We're going to do this on TBS. Bitch, let's go.
They be They be coming right on time. I had to get $4,000 or $5,000 worth of car work done this year. Out of blue. Because my car's paid off, which is the point, right? Like, it ain't a nice looking car at this point. It's just like, it give me from here, give me from there. Everything on the inside worked fine. a little rusty on the outside, but you know what? I'm not trying to get no bad bitches. I'm cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like we both have an understanding in this house. And that motherfucking car bill came. I'm like, I don't what I'm gonna sell. I'm selling all my bodily fluids. Like, what are we doing?
Yes.
And the
Not
green
you selling plasma for a carburetor.
all of them, Ray. All of them. It was gonna be the plasma, the sperm, the fucking blood. Whatever y'all want, I got it.
Because it was back to back. So I was like, God damn.
Yeah. I was like, damn. But yeah, them green checks that I do.
Yeah. It was, and you know what was crazy, and I thought this was like crazy because you know, I wrote on the President Show in 2017, and oh my God, I have ADHD. My brain just went blank. Oh yeah. So all of a sudden, I started getting residuals from the President Show this year, and I think maybe because Trump was running, they started re-airing the President Show internationally or whatever. I mean, the checks are small. It'd be like, oh, you know, like $18 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like $18 for like 23 episodes. That's, you know, that's a bill or two, and that's really nice.
Yeah. Also, like, speaking of the election and stuff, how are you feeling about it now? I know we were talking the other day, and you were talking about being like a poll worker or something. Like you were
yes, I'm gonna work the polls on election day. I just did a training.
How was it?
I passed the test 19 out of 20.
Let's go.
It was an open book exam, so I'm a little embarrassed that I got that last one wrong, but it was okay.
You're always so hard on yourself. You're just so hard on yourself.
I know. I'm in cognitive behavioral therapy. We're working on that. We're reframing. So I got an A, and not an A plus, but it was still an A.
It was an A.
You got a 95. You got a 95 out of 100.
I did a 95. Yeah, I'm. You know, I've always been considerate about the political process. I was raised in a household like when I was in fourth grade, was it fourth grade or fifth grade? I remember going to school and telling my teacher that the Monica Lewinsky scandal was a vast right-wing conspiracy. Like, we were that tapped into my house. Like, my daddy is a Nigerian man, but he's convinced that if he were born in America and had, you know, these opportunities, he would be Bill Clinton, you know? So, like, I've always been like very politically engaged in stuff. So, but I used to like care more about the like day to day of it, like the unfortunately this is a bad word, but like the entertainment of it. I like the stories, I like the happenings, I like the tea, the gossip or whatever. But I don't know, working election day, I don't know. I'm excited to see things up close, you know.
Yeah.
And New York City is a very interesting place. So I'm very curious about the kind of people I'm going to encounter. I've never worked a customer service job outside of stripping, and that's not really customer service.
Right. Well, it's kind of customer service.
I don't know. Showing you my titties is a service, I suppose, but
so you get instant interaction, so it is customer service.
It's appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like being a waiter. Like, you know, right away.
I gotta serve titties on a platter. You get tips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here's $1. You know, like you like, okay, so you wasn't feeling the titties that much. Anything you can do next time? Like,
I actually did have one guy. One time I was like twerking on him, and he just looked at me. He was like, "That's all you got?" I was like, "That's all my mama gave me."
I can't give you an extra.
This is what I left the house with.
He sent me back to the kitchen. Like,
he's like, no, thank you.
Order.
No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
No,
I would like another lime and
a nipple. Can I get a lighter nipple? Can it be can I get a Chinese nipple instead?
Hey, and all this time later, here we go, working the pose. Let's go.
Yeah, working the pose.
Got experience.
It is very involved. We did a 4-hour training on Tuesday, and I'm gonna be there from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. on election day.
Woo! Is it in person, the training, or is it like
the training was in person? It was like being in a class. And again, I have ADHD. My nigga, it was so hard.
Hey, look, you ever be in the classroom setting? This happened when I had like a straight job, where every once in a while they have training and they're like, you got to go to the training facility and they train you in some bullshit that you ain't learning nothing. But I really was in there like, how the fuck did I do this?
Yes, I think this all the time. So I'm gonna get intense for a second, but so I was diagnosed with ADHD this March. I had suspected that I had it since I'm like 25, I'm 36, but medical racism, people wouldn't give it to me, and also women manifest their symptoms very differently because of the way women are socialized. We find coping skills that mask it a lot better than boys do. Boys just act out, and girls tend not to, or whatever. So, and then there's shame that men don't get subject to that women do. So you turn in your papers late, but it's a thing you hide, or you get distracted. You're not hyperactive necessarily. You're just, your brain is hyperactive. Anyway, so like I think about this all the time. I'm sitting here being like, how did I do school? How did I do school? But I wasn't doing school, right? First of all, I went to a school with no grades. So I was turning in papers 3 weeks late and still getting good marks, good reports from my teachers and stuff. So that's how I got to Princeton. But Princeton is when things started to like really feel crazy, because I was turning in papers 3 weeks late and it would be an A paper because I worked really hard on making it an A paper, but it'd be a B- result because it's 3 weeks late or whatever. And then like in the workforce, when I had like a desk job, like I had a really hard time answering emails on time or like putting things into calendar or whatever. And so then I was like not good at my job, but like who's gonna fire a 22-year-old receptionist? Like she'll figure it out, things just kind of kept happening or whatever. But then it wasn't until like recently when I just kept trying to start writing stand-up or writing scripts and stuff, and I just couldn't, that like I was like, this is not laziness. Like this is
right.
Because I'm working, right?
Yeah, this is a thing.
And I'm thinking it. I'm thinking all of it. And also that's the thing with the ADHD. Your brain is working so hard constantly when other people's brains are chilling that you exhaust yourself physically from thinking and overthinking and like ruminating and trying to control things in your mind before you get out there and actually like try to do some shit. And so yeah, I'm sitting here being like, how did I ever do school? When I was growing up, I lived in East New York, which is like further out towards Queens than other parts of Brooklyn and the city. And I'm like, yo, I spent 45 minutes on the train to school every day. How the fuck did I do that? I didn't have the internet. Was I just reading books? Like, what the fuck was I doing? Like,
I used to like, this is reminding me, I used to be in class, and I would be, especially if the class wasn't challenging to me, if it was the kind of thing where I felt like I could look at this later and in 3 paragraphs, I would understand what it took everybody else like an hour to get.
right.
Like that just meant I was in class writing raps, poems, stories. Like I was not drawing. Like I was not doing class. Like, and I feel like whenever I have to do class stuff as an adult, it just reminds me of like, oh no, I don't do this really. Like I don't remember how I did this.
How? And it's crazy because like even when I'm interested in the thing, I can't pay attention. Like it's really crazy. Now, the election stuff was very boring. It was very boring. So I'm like texting under the table the whole time. But like it's like a weird thing. It's like I have ADHD, but I'm also really smart. Okay, good. I give myself a compliment. I'm really smart, and so like I can hold on to things and still catch things, like you said, while also like not paying attention the entire time.
Let me ask you this: who all's in the class? Because I'm imagining in this class, it's not like they're like it's the Democrat class. And the other thing from my time in New York that I definitely learned is whatever the Republicans think about New York, that's such a lie. It's like when they say like every college is a liberal institution. They think like New York is just full of like hippies and fucking like.
Oh no, not at all.
I met some very staunch Republicans when I was in there. So like, what is it like in that class? I imagine it's one of the few spaces left in society where liberal people, conservative people are actually in a room together, supposedly learning about the process of the election from an unbiased perspective.
So actually, I didn't get a really good understanding of that. I didn't get a good gauge of that. But what I did get was people trying to get paid off a government job. So you're gonna get all kinds of types in there, and yeah, it's just kind of like being in a public school. You get some rowdy motherfuckers, you get some talkative motherfuckers, some attention.
I feel like, especially during the question section.
Oh no!
The stuff that people believe and consume would have to come out because we're so polarized now that I can't imagine a person that like watches Fox News asking a question that wouldn't immediately make me go, "Nigga, you watch Fox News."
Yeah, well, so that was an interesting question because so there was a section of the class where they were telling us, how to engage with people who either had like incorrect voter registration or like their information didn't match or they weren't even registered at all. And the rule is that you can't turn anyone away. In New York City, if someone comes to vote, you give them a vote. You make them fill out an affidavit in person that the election board or whatever will inspect later and try to figure out where the error is or whatever. And so like if someone's address doesn't match, it doesn't matter. You give them a ballot and you give them an affidavit to sign and they submit it. And so one person in there was like, well, then how do you prevent voter fraud? And I went, oh boy.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's somebody else's job to verify that shit, not yours.
She's like, I watch American One News and listen, they told me the Mexicans is coming. Now, what if a Haitian comes in there and they got a dog and they got some what are they gonna really do with that dog?
If that person's last name is Jean-Pierre and they sound Haitian, how do you make sure they don't vote?
Now, is it possible to tell people they should be voting on Wednesday instead of Tuesday? Like, just come back tomorrow? Like, what's the rules on that? Will I go to jail?
Yes, you will.
Man.
I was, but that was the only question of the sort that I got. It was more, just attention seeking people. This is gonna sound cunty, but I'm a performer, right? And I can get attention whenever I want on stage, whenever I want. And so you don't realize how much normal people, and I mean normal in the best way possible, but you don't realize how much normal people do things just to get attention in whatever small spaces they're in. So if it's like complaining about how loud the air conditioner is for 2 hours, they're just gonna do it. Or
I had to learn that too with us having a podcast as an outlet, because I can be incredibly hard on people's social media like outbursts and shit, because I'll be like, nigga, keep that to yourself. Like, text your friends, tell somebody in your house. But then I'm like, they don't have a place where they can like have, like, we can do this where we can talk for an hour and have a nuanced conversation about like streaming, and the feedback won't just be like bad faith, take one sentence and go to fuck off, and none of it'll be like from fake people. Like, everybody that corresponds with us is mostly real. There's no like Russia's not on to the podcast. It's like
Russia today ain't over here.
Yeah, they're not like in the chat like, oh, actually guys, I think Haitians do eat dogs. So I'm kind of living a cool existence where we can do this. But yeah, I same thing basically. Like, sometimes even in real life, people do stuff where I'm like, why would you want or need this attention right now? We're at the basketball court. We're just playing basketball. We're at the gym. Like, why are you, what is this? Like, are you trying to try out your stand-up set? There's no need for this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The person who does the most, there's a bar that I go to watch basketball games, like around the corner from my house or whatever. And they do trivia nights on Mondays. So I go there on Monday nights for trivia nights. And Monday happens to be a Monday night football night. And and there's a guy who's an Eagles fan who comes in on Eagles games. I seen him there on Sundays. I seen him there on that Monday. And the most recent Monday that I saw him, this nigga brought a trumpet. Why are you playing a fucking trumpet on at a small bar on Fulton Street in fucking Bed-Stuy? My God! My God!
Yeah, we were at a Hornets game and the guy next to us was doing so much, like trying to get
whole comedy.
He was trying to get on camera every time there was
yes.
He was yelling out like all kinds of weird stuff towards like not just the players, but like there's these women that like are some baddies, like they're like IG baddies.
Mhm.
They sit
I get that. I mean, I get that.
but look though, it's not like he's trying to holler at them or
You just
whatever.
want to be seen by him.
He's just, well, no, he didn't even want to be seen by him. He wanted us to see him mocking them. So like,
okay.
He's like, he started singing BBL Drizzy really loud. And she had a BBL, and I'm like cringing because I'm like next to him, and it's like
right. You be like, boo.
Number one, sir, that's beneath you. That's
we all like a BBL. Don't play games.
Yeah, like come on. And two, like if you know these BBL baddies are with like some niggas, they like if one of them comes up and knocks you upside the head, I'm gonna let. Yeah, that's gonna be funny to me. I'm like, you didn't
get the laugh where you wanted to laugh. See, the punch is a different place. Yeah. You want the punch line, but you gonna get a punch, and that's where I'm gonna laugh.
Right? Yes. And these things are not the same.
And like he had a clever joke, but he said it so loud it wasn't clever anymore. But he was like, "Oh, you better watch out for that Zion Williamson," because one of the women had looked like the porn star that Zion Williamson was messing with. But that's such a deep cut, and yelling it out was just like oh man, you don't got the craft. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the touch or whatever. But yeah, it is interesting because if I want to make that same joke, I just find a clever way to say it on a podcast or something. Mm-hmm. And I do take that for granted because I'm just like,
you do not sound funny. You and Rae Sanni and like people that like comedians.
Nigga, you on here too. You too. Don't try to put yourself in another category. You be on here coming up with jokes and shit.
I put myself on another category because there's sometimes when my writing is terrible and Roger be like, that is terrible, Karen.
Oh, well, that's all of us too, though. That's all of us too.
My writing is terrible all the time.
Okay, so I ain't special.
That's one of the reasons that I don't treat you specials, because I've been in rooms where it's like, no, nigga, that shit ain't funny.
Yeah.
Like, if you know how many times I pitched to Bomani and them, at this point it was only funny to me by the end. But I was like, whatever's idea, funny thing they try to do, I always be like, what if Bomani just took out a gun, put it on the table, and didn't acknowledge it for the rest of the interview? And I was like, that's not fun. Stop saying that. Why
did you keep submitting that?
No, but like they're like, we need ideas. I submit like 3 real ideas, but it'd be like,
and then that was
Stephen A. Smith, and I'm like, okay, Stephen A. Smith sits down. Bomani takes a gun out of the back of small of his back, lays it on the table, like, never acknowledges it. We just like, ask the questions.
They be like, Rod, what is wrong with you?
Funny, and it's fine.
But I do give Roger credit though. His critique has caused me to be better with my puns, that they're a little bit more thoughtful and more witty. So yes, thank you for the challenge.
We all sharpening steel.
Yeah.
Let's play some games with Rae before we get out of here, because I feel like, you know, we can get to talking, and then I'll feel like we'll get off the show and I'll be like, man, we didn't even play like Guess the Rae, so we didn't play fucking with black people with Rae. Rae actually listens to the show, so she knows the rules, she knows all the fun stuff. So let's do a little bit of fucking with black people first.
Yeah, we don't know how this is gonna sound to you, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey, you are.
Oh man, fucking with black people.
That is such a good song. It really is.
Felt 5. He's a genius.
It kind of reminds me of Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show. Yes, same here. Better not tell your kids or whatever. Social media. Oh yeah. So the game, we go around the globe, find different articles that make us feel fucked with as black people. We'll assign point scores from 0 to 100 in intervals of 25. Unless it's really egregious, then it's Dracarys, which is burn it all down. The first story: social media clowns black Trump supporter jumped by white MAGA supporters. Hey.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, I got the video here. This is from Twitter. I'm gonna play it for us right now.
No, this nigga's really getting fucked up though.
Now I gotta say, he's already starting a bad. Like whoever started filming, the brother's already on his back on the ground.
Right? Yeah.
That's never where you want to be in a fight. Last time I checked.
Is that a Wells Waldo hat?
That's probably a MAGA hat.
Okay, I'm about to say.
But honestly, you could play a game like "Where's the Black Trump supporter?"
Yeah.
Like "Where's Leon?" or whatever.
Oh my god. Nah.
They're dropping those Fifth Ward B's on him. Now the thing
is,
there's another black man who's not dressed in Trump paraphernalia, who seems to be trying to get the white people off of the black man. But I feel like maybe he's not a Trump guy, the black man who's trying to help, but he's not trying to join the fight because that other guy.
No, it doesn't look like he's pushing. He's not jumping in. Oh no! Can you imagine getting mollywopped while you dress like a candy cane? That's crazy,
right?
And why you supposed to be on their side? Because I'm sure he's there because he's only there because he hates black people more than they do, and they're like, he's like, no, same side.
Wait, fuck the guy who's helping.
Yeah.
All these white people are just coming out of the crowd, like coming out of nowhere.
Yes, they were like, this is why we came here.
Wow. Okay, so here's what's surprising to me, and I suppose I shouldn't be shocked because anybody who is a Trump supporter has no scruples. But where I come from, you a sucker if you jump somebody already getting fucked up.
Yeah, that's the rules. But also, if I'm being fair, seen it plenty of times, so I don't know. I mean, it is definitely the unspoken rule, but I've seen that unspoken rule broken many a time in my day, so I don't even like. It's just like
if somebody's getting jumped, like people come out of nowhere and nobody goes boo. I've seen people jump in. Oh, you're not gonna jump her. So even if they don't know the people, you're not gonna jump her. We gonna fuck you up. But nobody did that here.
I've seen that both. Like I've seen that plenty of times where we all know you're not supposed to help if someone's getting jumped or whatever. Like, first of all, you're not really supposed to jump people. But secondly,
you're supposed to let them fight.
Exactly. But if you're a random motherfucker, you definitely not supposed to like hop out the crowd and be like, I'm involved on the side of jumping the person. But I have seen it, and I have also seen the people that are like, nah, you're not going da 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 too. But it's just funny that like at a Trump rally, as a black, you would go out there as a 2024 Trump rally, which I think is actually significantly different than a 2016 Trump rally, where like if you went in there with a Black Lives Matter shirt, yeah, you getting your ass whooped. But if you just went in there in 2016, they were just happy to have a token like, oh, put him behind Trump. Like, we got to get him on camera cooning. Bruh, they are so anti, like, this version of, like, the hyper, like, we're no longer trying to, like, have policies or
a code switch.
Like, being black out there now, I think this probably happens more often than we think, just because it's like, oh no, you're not even supposed to be here as a black person. We don't want you here.
We don't want you.
Like, what are you doing?
I wonder what he said. You know, I just want to know what he said. Maybe he pronounced Kamala's name properly, and they were like, "Fuck this guy."
He probably was like, they probably were like, "What's your name?" He was like, "It is Pierre." Like,
I'm Guillaume.
Hold on, that sounds kind of French.
That sound like cat eating-ish.
Sound like Luke Pierre. Like, what part of where you from? Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. Like, we don't have anything other than just people seeing it and laughing at it. This article is basically about the internet's reaction to it. At Popular Liberal laughed at the incident. Aha, that's what they get. Book influencer What's Up Sissy reposted a screenshot of the tag saying, "When you do clownery." Black people can't be serious about shit. Oh, did we lose Rae? Whoa, what happened to Rae?
I just need to turn
Okay. Cool. No problem. Black Trump supporter gets jumped at Trump rally in Saginaw. Someone replied, "It's giving this kind of vibe." And
wait, he was in Saginaw?
Yeah.
Isn't Saginaw a black ass city? Saginaw, Michigan? Isn't that where Draymond's from?
Yes, it is. Yes. And they said it's giving this kind of vibe, and it's Byron Donalds when he was trying to run for the Trump for the House Speaker, and they were clearly not going to elect this black ass.
No, they were not.
No matter how many times he went up there, and they just patted him on the back of the head. So, yeah, man. Oh my God, the black Trump supporter. What a life. What a life.
But see, I'm curious about what kind of black Trump supporter is this one? Is this one just pure, like, because there's different ones. What's the name of the guy running for governor in y'all state?
Mark Robinson.
Okay, Mark Robinson. There's a Mark Robinson type, and then there's the like DJ Academics type.
Right.
I'm inclined to believe this is a Mark Robinson type because DJ Academics is not putting on a MAGA hat and going anywhere. I mean, he doesn't go anywhere. Right. He stays in the basement. But just like you, there's different types. Like there's the types there's the Dr. Umar types too. Mm-hmm. So like there's like the Hoteps, there's the like red pill, and then there's the like.
So I think I'm with you on that. I think you're Tariq Nasheed type, like I'm so pro-black, I'm pro-Trump.
Yeah.
Which is black. I feel like you're right. They wouldn't wear the gear.
No, they wouldn't wear the gear.
It wouldn't be them.
No. Because I don't
with the Mark Robinson type is I would assume a Mark Robinson type would have some hands. Oh, he do have hands. These niggas look like this man look like he did not have no hands.
He did not have hands. Maybe he's a new Mark Robinson type, right? Because if you're Mark Robinson, you've been hating your cousins and your whole family since the 80s, right? So
they don't invite you to the family reunion no more. They was like, take that nigga off the list.
Or they do invite you to the family reunion and you go around calling your cousins slaves and then they whoop your ass, you gotta build up hands, Right. But this guy, he just found nude Africa. You know what I'm saying? He just got there. He just got there.
He's
a baby black Nazi. He's a baby black Nazi.
He's in racial chat rooms just showing toes. He's not fully up your feet yet. So, all right, 0 to 100. What would you give it for how much you feel fuck with, Karen?
Me 0, because you ain't got no business out there.
By white people and you got 0. Okay,
you have no business being there. I mean, I hate to say it. But you ain't got no business being there.
Okay, what about you, Rae?
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm a girl from Brooklyn. I'm gonna give it a 25 because you're not supposed to run in and jump somebody when they already getting worked. That really bothered me. Hate crimes aside, which is a crazy.
We can just excuse the hate crime of it all, right?
Remove that.
Just take that part out.
Just the principle of jumping really, really gets to me.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think for me, I give it a 0 as well. The lack of empathy I have for black Trump supporters at this point, I honestly don't know what could happen to them that would make me be like, oh, damn, they did what? Like, because it's like watching those videos where they're like, oh, this duck thinks it's a wolf and it's hanging out with wolves. And I'm like, well, we know how this fucking ends. Like, right. Why are we? That's an appetizer, hanging out with the fucking. Like, I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. I am curious about the backstory as to why there's a fight. It's obviously easy for us to assume it's racism. But also, like, what if it's just something super personal? Like, it's just like, hey man, I don't like the way the Eagles
grabbing my wife's ass. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What if it's something else? The other thought I did have, and I would have had a higher score if this was the case, but since it didn't come forward, I'm assuming it's not. Mm-hmm. There are some black dudes who go out to Trump rallies. They sell Trump paraphernalia.
They do,
but they're actually not.
They don't fuck with them. Yeah, I was considering that as well.
Easy money.
I was hoping that was the case, but it's been about a week and that hasn't come forward. So, and I think the internet sleuths would have told us like, oh no, those dudes actually don't fuck with Trump. They just thought they could make some money. And I'm not saying I would have felt bad, but it wouldn't have been a zero.
Okay. But then, you should take advantage of idiots if they're gonna be that idiotic. But then, I don't know. It depends on the type of black person. Like if you're like, if you're a middle class black person selling Trump merch, I'm not gonna fuck with it. But if you are a Haitian immigrant,
right,
who wants for more cats to eat, then you know.
If you're a Haitian immigrant, you like, listen, buy one Trump hat, get one dog burger free. Like we just special. No, but here's the thing. This is the litmus test I have to put a lot of stuff through. Would I do it? And the truth of the matter is, I've been broke. I can't see myself doing it. I can't. Like, you just a different type of nigga than me. If you could go out there with the racist people and be like, get your Trump merch. Like, I don't got it. I absolutely would. I would have to take a shower. I would have to cover my face. I would be so disgusted. I want my family to know. Like,
I can't fight, and I don't have a gun, so I can't even risk it. I'm 138 pounds. I have no upper body strength. I do Pilates. That's it.
And nobody can fight 75 hillbillies. Like, it's nobody.
Exactly. And like, got that meth strength, that fentanyl fury. I don't know.
Like, you punch them in the face and they be like, boy, my teeth been gone. Like, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, player.
In the mountains of West Virginia, I ain't got it.
Right, they come down there with no shoes on, be like, boy, what you doing around these parts? I told y'all don't get around here.
All right, let's do a little bit of guess the race. Let's do a little bit of guess the race as well. Let me play my guess the race music.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right. Let's talk about some guessing the race. Go around the globe, find different articles, guess the race of people involved. Karen and Rae Sanni will be competing, as well as the chat room. These people are racist. That is the game. Let's get into it. The first story. A Maine man, and I'm not saying this because I'm Amara Rashad.
Right? I'm about to say my main man.
A man from Maine.
He's still fine.
Isn't he?
Didn't age a bit.
I saw him
and Donnie Simpson.
I saw him last night on NBA TV for like a Hall of Fame induction thing or something. And he shaved his hair now, but he still got the beard. And I don't know if he's dyeing it, but it's like full black beard. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know how old that man is. Like, that's how good he looked. Where like if you told me that man was 44, I'd be like, yeah, that's
that man got to be in his 60s now. He got to be.
It's got to be.
I'm on Hinge now, trying to get laid and stuff. And I would up my age bracket to accommodate Amara Rashad.
This is one of the reasons I'm like, I feel conflicted about when people do the like May, June romance thing and everyone's like, so creepy, so weird. And I'm like, I don't know, if you're Amara Rashad and you on Hinge and Rae Sanni swiping on you, you not finna be like, I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. Like, that's like, y'all just gonna have to not like me when you see me around. Be like, he's old enough to be your daddy, because you know what, she's grown. She's thinking that too. Like, he's old enough to be
daddy. He's old enough to be my daddy, and that means he's gonna pay for stuff like my daddy used to.
Right. Oh, he got daddy money.
Like, he's old enough to be zaddy.
Like, I like to think that I'm smart. You know, I can hold a conversation. This ain't an 18-year-old and a 45-year-old. Exactly. I've been through some shit. I've seen some shit.
Right. Like, I made a decision. I'm okay with it.
Like that girl who dates Al Pacino right now. She was just on a date with somebody else. She has Al Pacino's baby. She dated the Rolling Stones guy.
I ain't even mad at her.
She was coming back from a date with Bill Maher. I had this in White People News.
Yeah.
And when I saw that picture and I saw that description of all the old white men she's done bagged, I said, that lady, she don't know it, but she living through the spirit of something my late grandmother Peg told me, okay?
What?
There's no reason in the world to have a wet pussy and a dry purse.
Yes, dry purse, yes, exactly.
She made a decision. She said, hey, look, okay, they paying and I'm staying. And so, look, I get it.
I'm going to be set for the rest of my life.
They the ones y'all going to judge anyway. Like,
and you know what's crazy is Shorty's from a rich family. So I'm just like, but you got an inheritance coming. So why are you on Al Pacino's dick?
I'm going to work hard for.
Now I got 3 inheritances.
Okay? That's fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Never let the
she's trying to be able to afford the Hope diamond, not just any diamond.
Right? She was like, I'm gonna diversify my investments with this pussy.
Mm-hmm. Main man allegedly stole 4 vehicles, including a dump truck during a police chase.
A dump truck?
Yeah, there's some Grand Theft Auto shit. The main man is facing multiple charges after police say he stole 4 vehicles, including a dump truck, in a chase that crossed into New Hampshire several times. Authorities said they first tried to stop Garrett Littlefield, 33, of Alfred, Maine, on Thursday morning. When police used a spike strip to disable a stolen car, police said that he ran off and stole a truck from someone's nearby home. Later, they saw a different truck blowing through a stop sign at more than 100 miles an hour. Turns out it was him again.
God
now, it sounded like he had got away, right?
This is Grand Theft Auto.
It sounded like he had got away. Like he fucked them up when he got that other truck.
He got to the safe house, picked another vehicle, right? Got out again,
and broke the law.
Yeah, all the 5 stars went down to 1,
right?
And he put it back up to 5.
He went to the spray and pray or whatever.
Whatever.
He got the car painted. And was like, no, I'm breaking the law again. Fuck it. Police said that the truck crashed into a ditch after they pulled him out, put out another set of spikes. Officials say he was finally arrested while trying to steal a 5th car after parking a stolen dump truck at a gas station in Bridgerton.
5th car?
Yes, a 5th car. He was going for the record.
What's crazy to me is that if you are that talented, why aren't you using your skills for good? Like, if you are that good at evading police and stealing cars, like, shouldn't you be, I don't know, the top, like, locksmith or something? You should be a private investigator. You should be a fucking...
Right? You know what it makes me think of, as a person that loves Impossible White Man movies? It makes me think, like, is this how we, in the general public, would find out there's a Jason Bourne? Because we wouldn't find out because they were like, oh, this secret military group has a guy that did this. We find out because, like, yo, this dude stole 5 cars, killed 12 cops, and he's still on the loose. What? How's that possible? It's like, oh, because that's really what 007
He's a CIA agent. That's how we find out.
Like, this is Jack Reacher or some shit.
This is an FBI agent gone rogue to fight the government.
Right. We just thinking like, oh, he must be on meth. He stole 5 cars. Like, no, this motherfucker had tactical espionage skills. Karen, guess the race of Mr. My main man, Garrett Littlefield.
Why? Every time you say my main man, I think you be like, my main man.
Yeah. I felt like I was supposed to say an NBA player's name after that. My main man.
Grant Hill.
My main man, Grant Hill. All right, Rae.
Yeah, it's like someone in the chat said there's no white, but there's no black people in Maine. So right. I'm gonna go white, unless it's like a like Somali refugee or something. Do we have a name?
Garrett Littlefield.
Oh, that's a white man.
All right, white. Are there black people in Maine and New Hampshire? Maine justice equal white. White ain't no black people in Maine. White. The correct answer. Everybody said the same thing. Everyone, you got it correct. He's white.
Although Garrett Littlefield could be a black person's name. It could be.
He told me Garrett Littlefield was a shortstop for the 1990s Chicago White Sox. I would absolutely believe you. I would absolutely be like, yeah, Garrett Littlefield. Yeah, played for Michigan, right? But that's him. And listen, he could be a Jason Bourne. I don't know.
He looked like he'd been through it. He looked like he'd been through a lot.
Yeah, he's seen some things.
Yeah, his eyes are dark. Like he knows classified secrets that Trump hid at Mar-a-Lago.
He does. When they investigate him, they're gonna find out he was a beekeeper.
Listen, when the government kills your girlfriend in front of you, sometimes you gotta crash out. It's just what it is.
Somebody going, y'all crossed the wrong one.
Let's keep it vehicular.
He's gonna be in the sequel of Enemy of the State. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes, exactly. He is.
You the next one. Man allegedly steals truck to make it to court date for separate vehicle theft charge.
What's going on with you in trucks today, Rod?
I'm keeping it vehicular. I got a theme today, right? I say Rae coming on. We finna keep it real. This was in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Okay. So according to a Facebook post from the police, the highway patrol, which honestly you never want to be featured on that page. It's never. You don't really see nice ones where they're like, hey guys, just checking in. Oklahoma's highway patrol, Cody Adams, said Cody Adams is accused of stealing an emergency vehicle in order to make it to court on time to face a previous charge for a stolen vehicle.
Not the EMS. You think you're gonna roll up there with the EMS truck and walk in? They're gonna be like, where's the emergency? Oh, the emergency is I need to get to my court case.
Yeah, I mean, I can see his thinking. If you running late for your court case, still in the car,
put them lights on.
Like you gonna have to, like, this is an emergency. I don't want to go to jail. So they posted on their Facebook. Here's one you don't see every day. Trooper said late last month, Adams was at a gas station in Stillwater asking people for a ride to court in Pawnee County where he was scheduled to appear. I feel like it's like, yo, I feel like asking a stranger for a ride to court for a criminal charge.
I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say yes. You going to tell me what you're going to court for? You going to tell, are you going to court for murdering somebody who you hitchhiked with before?
Right. I hate to be this guy, but I'm gonna need to do some Google minimum.
Yeah, we're gonna see Ted Bundy. What you need a ride to court for?
Right. That's one of the like all time. That's like can I borrow your gun? Like that's a request. You're like no.
I cannot do that.
There's never been a good scenario where this happened.
Yes. And certainly not when you need someone else's gun so you get away with it.
Right. I was watching For My Man the other day and the dude borrowed his cousin's gun and killed somebody and brought the gun back. They went to like the cousin's house because they traced the gun to him and the cousin's like immediately like, yeah, he borrowed my gun. Like what? That's a dumb crime. Anyway.
That's so fucked up too.
Right? Like, because it's extra fuck you. I'm definitely not keeping your secret. I'm going to jail for murder? No. What?
No.
So they said he couldn't get a ride. What? He allegedly stole a LifeNet ambulance supervisor vehicle that had been left running with no one inside. Adams made it to the courthouse and ditched the vehicle, officials said, but he was spotted by a trooper who arrested Adams. He admitted to borrowing the vehicle.
Oh, where else? You gonna return it?
They escorted him to his court date, then took him right back to the county jail on new charges. Facebook commenters did appear supportive of Adams and said at least he was serious about making his court date.
I agree.
He wasn't playing. I'm amazed he was so dedicated to make his court date. Many just don't show. The irony of the situation is vaguely amusing, but the reality of someone having so few options that they feel desperate enough to do this is really
no. Are we gonna make this a leftist cause? Poverty? It's poverty and access and wealth inequality. That's why he couldn't make his court date and now he's in jail for poverty crimes. Oh boy.
He also was recently diagnosed with ADHD. So I think we gotta give him a break, guys. Come on. He couldn't focus. At least someone said at least he'll do whatever it takes to make his court appearances. So all right, y'all, guess the race of Mr. Cody Adams, and if it helps, Cody is spelled with a K, K-O-D-Y, Adams. Karen?
Oh, black.
Karen's going black. All right, Rae?
I'm going white. Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Oh, poor white people love replacing a C with a K. They sure do. They sure do.
I always say, like, it's really fucked up in America because black people, poor black people and rich white people especially love the fuck out of like a wild name.
Right.
Like it's so funny how like it'll be like, oh, the I don't know, Jennifer Garner named her kid Apple. And I'm like,
yes, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, I'm like, that's not as weird as LaQuansha or whatever the fuck. That's just as.
But not only did she name her kid Apple, Chris Martin is their father. So that girl's name is Apple Martin, like Apple Martini.
Right.
Come on.
Come on. And now, meanwhile, I went to college with several Alizés and motherfucking like liquor brand names and shit like that. So I know quite a few.
But there are also poor white people who love the nigga names too, right? There's so many poor white Jadens and Cadens and Calebs and Nevaehs because it's heaven backward. Like
everything except Ebony. They'll fuck with it.
Oh no, I know a white Ebony.
What?
I do know a white Ebony. I sure do.
Okay, I thought
she's Australian. I don't know her personally.
Oh.
It was Australia's Next Top Model, the winner of the first season. A white girl named Ebony, but she had like dark hair and dark eyes. You know how like they call dark-haired Irish people Black Irish? I guess they named her Ebony in that spirit. You know.
Okay, I thought the only time I used Ebony was on porn sites.
Same.
Oh no! Isn't it also a tree? Isn't it a tree?
A tree? Ebony is a tree?
Ebony is a tree. That's why it's equated with black people. Isn't it a dark tree?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, you telling me something right now. I only know that it means black people. I don't even know.
Yeah, like ebony birthday card. No, that's mahogany birthday cards.
Yeah, mahogany is a tree.
Ebony is a porn category I'm very familiar with, and ebony also I'm pretty sure is a tree.
That's the only time I've seen white people use it. I didn't know they was naming kids that shit. That's wild for them. She had to do a lot of explaining, I'm sure. So we got Karen going black, we got Rae going white. Chat room is Oklahoma was dumb Toretto white. Dumb Toretto, that's hilarious. Fast and clueless white, that's also funny. White.
That's so funny.
Empathy, that's whites only. So she's going off of the context clues
from the Facebook group. Okay.
Yeah. Hennessy, Nicole, Rod. Yeah, I know a bunch of black women named after drinks. That's so yeah, apple martini makes sense.
And you know what? I think I'm going to change mine to white only because it's EMS and we don't steal emergency vehicles.
Okay.
Like when we steal, you know, not that we don't steal big vehicles, but it's like that's something that draws so much attention to it. Like if we're trying to get there on time, we're gonna try to sneak in without being caught.
All right. Well, the correct answer is, and you changed it just in time, he was white.
Yeah, ain't no black man trying to get the code.
Say that again, Ray. I'm sorry.
I said, ain't no black man trying that hard to get to court.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that K, I was like, that sounds like some nigga shit. But I thought about it. I was like, we ain't sending no EMS either.
The police are funny though, because they be posting shit like this so you could clown the dudes.
Oh no!
Like it is like they really was like, look at this stupid motherfucker, and then everybody in the comments was like, man, he must.
Yeah, he look as stupid as we thought he did.
He must really have it bad to be dealing through all this. All right, let's go to the final round. Let me play both of y'all are 2 for 2, so we'll play the more racist version of the theme.
Not the more racist.
Why? Are you racist? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get the race.
Gold chains, fried chicken, biscuit eating, monkey eat, baboon, big dive, fat love, high jumping, spear chucking, 360.
Wowza.
Let's talk about another vehicular themed Guess the Race.
All right. It's crazy that you're talking about this vehicular stuff because I don't know how to drive. I'm almost 37. I've never been behind a steering wheel.
This is your wake-up call. This is in your home.
Preventing me from ever learning how to drive. I don't want to be able to do any of these crimes.
Yeah, maybe I'm just backing you up. This is an affirmation.
This is scaring me straight, you know.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it. Catch a ride. But what would you do in New York if you didn't want to drive? Well, maybe you catch a bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
An MTA bus driver is being hailed as a hero after spotting a little girl walking the streets on New York City.
I know this story. I saw it.
Oh, well, then forget it. Never mind. Forget this. We'll go to another one. It might not be vehicle themed. All right. We don't want to. We'll save that one for Karen. Let's see. All right. This was not vehicle themed, but is also still relevant. McDonald's worker set fire to a dumpster to clear out crowded restaurant. A trainee manager at a Georgia McDonald's has been sentenced to 5 years in federal prison for starting a massive dumpster fire to clear out the relentless flow of customers. Joshua Darrell McGregor, 34, was working at a Savannah branch of the fast food chain in April last year when he grew frustrated because the restaurant was very busy and the drive-thru was so crowded.
Yeah, tired of everybody. I'm gonna clear this bitch out.
He lit a piece of cardboard on fire and tossed it in the restaurant's dumpster, which was full of cardboard and other flammable materials, and ensured that the fire ignited before returning to the restaurant. The fire became so intense that customers in the drive-thru lane had to back out of the parking lot, and the restaurant was forced to close briefly. I like that probably somebody that's so hungry and greedy that they was like, I'm gonna wait it out and see. Oh, the line's clearing out.
That is crazy.
Everybody in their reverse buttons. What's that? What I got to reverse too? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
McGregor, who was training to be a manager, then right. This is Calvin. Okay.
Calvin had enough of y'all bullshit. He been doing this since the 80s. Calvin got to be 70 now. He time to retire.
He then filmed the chaos and the flames, posted it on Facebook. He was later busted when surveillance footage showed him starting the fire.
Shit, they got cameras everywhere.
That's crazy.
That's got to be the first thing you learn as a manager trainee is like where the cameras
are.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. He pleaded guilty to arson. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, as well as 3 years supervised release upon completion of his prison term. He also was ordered to pay restitution for property lost in the fire. They didn't disclose the amount. McGregor's defense attorney, William Joseph Turner, called his client a good man that made a mistake, and he will move past this. Okay.
I'm going to go black. Savannah's a black ass town. This is a nigga who was tired of his job. He wanted a break. He just wanted a fucking break. He just set the shit on time. This nigga's feet was hurting. He tired. He just wanted a fucking break. And also, not that setting a fire is not a serious crime, but like they give you 5 years in jail for setting a fire that didn't hurt somebody. You're black. Are you kidding me?
I gotta say too, like it's apropos he works at McDonald's because they used to have a slogan, "Have you had your break today?" And he said,
"No, I haven't. Let me fire."
I'm gonna have it though. I'm gonna get it.
Break. I'm gonna get this break.
That's the problem.
What about you, Karen? Guess the race of Joshua Darrell McGregor?
I'm going black too.
Karen's going black as well. All right. The blacks in the
you
chat
ain't
room.
Gonna. He said, "Y'all ain't gonna give me my break. Damn it, I'll take my break.
I'm gonna get my 15 minutes." Okay. Ratchet ass Sandra says white. Keith says Trump's first day working at McDonald's white.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like when Elon Musk took over Twitter. He turned it into a dumpster fire. Black. 3 names white to be young, dumb, and white. So the chat room's mostly going white. Rae and Karen went black. The correct answer is he's white. Y'all
wow. I got by the Savannah. I just want to break it all.
This is him.
Whoa, he's really white.
Oh.
Yeah. I will say
there are a lot of white people in Savannah, Georgia.
I don't know. I've never been. He do look like he would burn some shit down, though.
Okay, like I'm looking up the racial breakdown of Savannah, Georgia, because I am shocked.
I just feel like he has arson in his face.
And, yeah, he probably been burning shit out there in Savannah for years.
Like when you hired him,
he's been killing cats and
exactly.
And weird animals.
He's been killing cats and blaming Haitians the whole time.
Savannah is 51% black, 36% white. And
okay, but see, now it makes even more sense. It was a line full of black people.
He didn't want to talk to no niggas mispronouncing McNuggets no more.
It's like, let me guess. For the 50th time today, Sprite? It'll be Sprite?
Sweet and sour sauce.
Right. Oh, okay. It seems like every order's the same. I'm gonna fit to burn this bitch down.
Yes, RT is sweet. Don't ask me again.
Well, just call me William Tecumseh Sherman because I'm burning Savannah to the ground.
The hell is
I'm also shocked by that 5-year sentence for a white guy for setting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not advocating for him, but I do think it's crazy that if only the dumpster caught on fire, and fortunately it didn't spread in a way that hurt anybody, that he would get 5 full years.
Yeah, but when the jury is black,
51%
51% chance. If it's 6 out of 12 of us on the jury, you gone, white boy.
They're gonna be like, nah, buddy, give him what's the max? You're gonna get all 5 of them.
How does it feel?
Somehow somebody had no sympathy.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. All right, let's get to the final thing. Sorry, ratchetness. Now you may not be able to hear this long ass sound effect, but
That's okay.
we'll be talking again in about 25 seconds.
I can hear it.
Okay. A man is accused of slashing tires with a sword in Gettysburg. A Canadian man, you don't even go here.
Yeah, if I say white, Gettysburg, Virginia. I'm assuming it's Virginia.
You know what, Karen? If it's a bonus round, I think Gettysburg is in Virginia.
No, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we went to Pennsylvania for my brother's wedding.
Okay.
Driving by it. But you're right. He's white.
Yay!
He also has the beard of a Civil War man.
Reenactment person. Yeah.
No, I don't trust white men who are bald, except for Patrick Stewart. They just stress me out a little bit. You know, there's something weird about it. I don't know. They don't make it look sexy. You know, black dudes can be bald. Tyrese, Michael Jordan, Rod. But white dudes with beards and bald heads, yeah, they for sure gonna chop you up with a knife.
Yeah, and like I feel like there are sexy bald white men like Jason Statham, but it doesn't make me less afraid of them. Like it doesn't do anything.
Is he sexy or is he British? Because that's a different thing.
That's a good point because I've been watching Slow Horses and I still don't know if it's good. Like everybody says it's good, and I'm like, these motherfuckers actually not that good at doing what they do. They actually are kind of fucking fuck ups. Like this is like Keystone Cops, but they just British Keystone Cops. So it's like, oh no, they almost solved the crime. I'm like, nah, he had the terrorism. He called the terrorism in wrong. How the fuck is that the penultimate episode of the season? That everyone should be fired. Anyway, all right. So Raymond Bondi, 39 of Alberta, Canada, was charged with 1 count of each of possessing an instrument of crime, criminal mischief, public drunkenness, and disorderly conduct. 11:18 p.m. last Sunday, Gettysburg Borough police officers Kevin McDonald and Shannon Hilliard were dispatched, and they allegedly found Bondi sitting on the balcony of the 3rd floor at the back of the building above the pool, with his back leaned against the railing with his legs splayed in front of him. He allegedly appeared to be drunk. Surveillance video allegedly showed him entering the north side of the hotel parking lot, opening up the driver's side rear door of his Ford Ranger, removing a black sword, and proceeding to stab and slash 2 vehicles parked next to his.
Goddamn.
He slashed 4 tires each on a 2024 Honda CR-V and a 2004 Honda CR-V, and he damaged the front and rear driver's side windows, according to the affidavit.
Was this player 2 to player 1 in the Grand Theft Auto? So this dude was slicing shit up, and the other dude was like,
"There's a secret.
I'm gonna steal cars."
There's a secret white man contest that's happening that we don't know about.
We have no idea.
Like, go out and see if you can get a 5-star
bounty. That was like, I bet you my bounty could be bigger. Nah, dog, my bounty gonna be bigger than yours.
The video also shows him walking across the parking lot, slashing the passenger side front door of a Dodge Grand Caravan and stabbing the passenger side rear tire of a 2023 Ford Bronco. He's allegedly seen placing the sword back into his vehicle before. What?
Did cars kill his whole family? I mean, this is a vicious attack on random ass.
Maybe
vehicles.
he thought they was Autobots. I don't know. I don't know what happened to this man in where he came from. But yeah, what I think is interesting, he put the sword back in his car, knowing the scene of the crime is everything around his car being stabbed with a sword. Like,
but his car.
He wanted to keep it so he could keep doing more sword crimes.
Right, but like do you
know what this economy has been like lately? And do you know what the inflation price of a sword is?
Yeah, you know what? Under Trump, you could get swords half off. It is funny though, because
got in office and all of a sudden the steel went up.
It is funny because while it is convenient for him, it makes this the easiest crime for the police to solve ever.
Right.
Like, oh, the one vehicle that's not fucked up has a sword in it. I assume this guy did the crime. Like, thanks, buddy. So another surveillance video showed him sitting on the third floor balcony against the railing until police arrived. Police recovered a black SOG sword. I don't know what an SOG sword is. That's
a good thing. I'm so glad you don't know.
I'd say that's
out here implementing SOG fucking warfare on any of us.
Man, what the fuck is so it looks like maybe a brand.
Oh, a name brand of sword.
SOG, Penetrate, Pentagon, XR, Quick Open and Sharp. I'm on Amazon. So SOG must be it's a brand. So those niggas with brand on the sword. That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, so he spent the extra money. He probably engraved it too.
Yeah, it's like the Nike of swords.
Yeah, he done named it.
Why he has to keep it? Because he put out a good pretty penny on that.
Yeah.
He got a name sword. This is the Air Jordans of sword. Right.
I didn't go on StockX to get this shit away.
There's no Payless sword. This is a fucking Apple machete.
17.
What he was like, Orochimaru roar. Yeah, and just went out there, just fucked everybody vehicle up.
Yeah, Hattori Hanzo, fucking from. Is that the sword from Kill Bill? Hattori Hanzo.
It had a 17.5-inch blade.
Damn, that's long.
He is alleged to have caused about $3,300 worth of damage to the vehicles. He was released on $5,000 bail.
No. Time out. You can't cost me $3,000 worth of damage and your bail is $500. Get the fuck out of here. Yep. No.
Yep. And he posted it with a bondsman, which probably means he
$500. Yeah.
10% down. So
listen, this is the first time I'm gonna feel like a woman. The police are supposed to protect a white woman. The police are supposed to protect property. Okay.
Destroying property is violence. Revoke. I'm not down with this. Revoke
you trying to CVS, go to jail.
Right. Put them in Rikers, no bail. Okay?
No bail.
I actually agree with Eric Adams on this one.
You for 10 style, you slash cars, you get shot on the subway, okay? I know that we gotta go, but Eric Adams is crazy. And I'm so glad that the rest of America gets to see the kind of shit.
No, I just want to know who's gonna do. Is Ryan Murphy gonna do
the Eric Adams story?
So that shit would be flamed.
Someone need this, like maybe the nigga from the dude that did The Wire or something like.
Simon, yeah.
We need a mini series.
Yeah.
On what the fuck? Because this is like when the mafia, when there's racketeering charges and the police start arresting mobsters, and every day I wake up, there's a new person in the Eric Adams administration going to jail.
Yeah.
To keep up with it at this point, I need a full podcast series or something so I could keep it straight, because it's like we're getting down to shit where it's like the assistant PE coach. Like what? Like what the fuck he do? They're like, they raided his house.
The landscaper at Gracie Mansion has been taking bribes also. No, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy because I promise, my father and my mother voted for Eric Adams, and a lot of black people in Brooklyn voted for Eric Adams because he was the borough president, and he did the like whole show of like, I think it's like, is it a 100,000? Is it like 1 million black men in police or whatever? He just did the thing where he made it seem like he was on black people's side the whole time, and then he just like, I don't know, when he started running for mayor, he just bugged the fuck out. All of a sudden, he was just this like fake Republican, but still calling himself a Democrat. And then the corruption shit has been following him since he was borough president. Like, if you read the indictment or whatever, like this stuff is from 10 years ago. And do you remember that preacher? That preacher who got robbed on camera? That preacher has been a scammer for years. Bishop
Lamar Whitehead. Let me also take a quick second. There's a podcast called Scan. I think it's called Scan. Let me Google it. But go ahead, keep going.
But so this preacher has stolen churches. I mean, the same crime that Eric Adams is indicted for is a crime that Lamar Whitehead did, which is that, you get people to donate money, and there's like a matching fund that the city will match your donations if people donate a certain amount of money. Lamar Whitehead did that same scam when he ran for borough president after Eric Adams vacated that seat. Eric Adams is now in trouble for having Turkish donations that weren't legal, Brooklyn donations, and then getting the city to match the funds. I think he stole like $10 million doing that. Like,
first of all, nigga, Turkey. Like, I'm not like it of my places where you be like, yo, some people illegally putting money into the campaign of the New York mayor.
Turkey.
I'm not saying that Turkey, like, I know Turkey's like corrupt. I know they have like a dictator and all that shit. But I wouldn't have got it, y'all. It wouldn't have been on my bingo card.
No, but and I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed with the Turks, because I'm like, they're like, oh man, they're enterprising. They're like, look, we gonna find it wherever we can find it. And they were like, look, I bet this black politician isn't getting a lot of attention.
Yes.
Let's pay attention to this black politician. Let's put in.
I don't know if you ever watched this show. This is some Gangs of London shit where they're like,
oh, I haven't watched it. No.
Okay, well, Gangs of London, like a big part of it is like all these dirty money, like gangsters are putting money, making it legitimate by putting money into buildings. So it's like they just keep building these fucking high-rise buildings and shit. So like when I heard the scheme, I was like, yo, that's real? That's crazy. The name of the podcast is called Swindled.
Oh, yes. I used to listen to Swindled. Yeah.
I love Swindled. And they recently had an episode,
about Bishop Whitehead?
August 21st. It's so good because they went and got like all of his like IG live clips. And
it was crazy because I was following it on YouTube. There's two YouTubers that I follow that they followed him from the robbery to when he stole the church, when he got in trouble when he's in jail for 9 years now. And and it's like really crazy because like Eric Adams was his mentor and he would drop Eric Adams' name all the time. And Eric Adams didn't have a problem with it until he got indicted for this shit.
He don't say he didn't know him.
He don't know him. This man said that this man tried to swindle a construction property out of somebody and he would say, oh, I'm friends with the mayor. We can get a good deal on. And this is crazy to me. And like, and I think like Eric Adams is from like Southside Jamaica, Queens or some shit. So he's like from the hood too. But it's just like, you would think that if you become someone as prominent as a fucking borough president of Brooklyn, that you would better scammers, more elegant scammers. It ain't gonna be a bishop wearing fake Gucci. I went and saw a Mace and Cameron show at the Apollo 2 years ago, and I swear to God, that bishop was in the background on stage, like up there, like trying to politic with.
That's the thing about both. That's the thing about Eric Adams and Bishop Lamar Whitehead is that they wanted to be all up in the videos.
Yes.
Because like I feel like this is the kind of scamming that you could do in the background,
and
get away with for years and years and years, and we'd be like, wait, what? A 40-year investigation found out that this nigga was scamming the whole time. But like, if you're out here at the club, like Put your
He
rollies in
was
the
partying with Fabio Foreign. Fabio Foreign don't even have a record deal no more. Like, what are we doing here?
and the positions are mayor and bishop. Like, they're not even positions where we like conflate that with fame and wealth and popularity in that type of way. Like, if you're gonna be in the club and they were like if you told me this guy's an NBA agent, and I'm like, okay, well, he be in the club partying with niggas. Like, it's not.
Or he's a consultant. He's a lobbyist. You know, people who are supposed to rub shoulders and influence people.
And like, I would still find it peculiar, but I wouldn't find it so like out of the realm. Nigga, you're a bishop, and you're like, listen, Jesus. I'm gonna be up here with the bitches on at the club. What?
Did you see that the fucking whole thing with Sabrina Carpenter getting him investigated? Because okay, Sabrina Carpenter, she's a very cute pop star. It's her moment right now. She's popping, very cute. She filmed a music video in a Catholic church. It was considered blasphemous by a bunch of people who recognized the church in the music video. They're like, how the fuck did she get permission to film such a music video in the church? Well, it turns out the archbishop of that church has been fucking around and taking bribes and was working with Eric Adams. So then, like, this nigga had his hand everywhere. Everywhere.
Wow, because you just got like I said, every day I wake up and it's almost like a movie. Like, it's like some of the stories, like the story of the two officials that got married. So
they got married so that they don't have to testify against each other. Right. And you know what's crazy? I'm sorry, I know we're going over time, but like, you know what's crazy is that like it's the audacity to be sloppy. Like, this is also what bothers me about Trump too. It's like, hey, I'm not stupid, man. I know this goes on. I know this goes on, but you are so disrespectful of your position. You are so disrespectful of the people that you are meant to serve that you don't even pretend to care that you don't want us to see you. Like, yes, we know this is New York City. Every mayor of New York has been corrupt. I haven't found every single mayor's corruption, but I guarantee it happened. But you know how like sometimes people will be like, oh, I love Donald Trump because he puts his racism out in the open. At least I know what I'm getting. No, I don't want to know what I'm getting. I want to go to work and come back and not know you think I'm a nigger. I'm happy with that. That's perfectly fine. Please, let me ride the subway in peace. But Eric Adams is not letting me ride the subway in peace. He is calling me nigger to my face all the time. And it's just so disrespectful. And then the thing that is even more bothersome is that his presentation is very working class black, his accent, his the way he dresses, the way he communicates, like everything about him is associated with a certain type of black New Yorker. And now if another type of that black New Yorker runs for mayor, I think that they're going to distrust him based on how recklessly he was moving. I know that's not fair, but that's just how human beings work. You remind me of a person I've encountered before. And I think that Eric Adams has like fucked over any outer borough black candidates for mayor with an accent and a hip-hop swag, because this nigga was out here just moving crazy, like moving like, what's his name, Kwame Kilpatrick, just moving crazy. Yes. And you get the black community on board with you, like riding with you, like yeah, you look like us, you feel like us, you represent us, you look like 25% of New Yorkers. New York is 25% black, you look like us. And then you just all disrespectful, reckless with it, and doing it in a way that mimics how we exist. That's really fucked up.
And Maya Wiley would have never. You know what I mean? Maya
Wiley, I've been saying this for years. Maya Wiley was right there. I had to convince my parents, because in New York you have ranked choice. So I convinced my parents. My dad told me he put her number 1 and Eric Adams number 2. I don't believe him. But my mom told me she put Eric Adams number 1 and Maya Wiley number 2. But like, if you know their platforms, that doesn't even make sense. Maya Wiley wasn't gonna win because she doesn't play the like city council games. Like New York is a very hard political place to break into if you don't play the game. And Maya Wiley was always gonna be an outside candidate. I think she came in third or fourth or something. But there was Catherine Adams who had been on city council and stuff, and she's probably gonna win next time. But like my God, like Eric Adams bamboozled so many people, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing.
Yeah.
I just
But
can't.
also very predictable for me as an outsider looking in. I've been calling that man Officer Mayor since the fucking
the
day.
rules.
The day when he was running and he was like still skirting the line between being like pro cop and shit and saying like stuff about stopping frisk and shit.
PSAs and shit. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people like sniffing the weed at a press conference when they like. I mean, this thing is really crazy.
Crazy. All right, Rae, it's always great to talk to you, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nah, man. Anytime, I'll tell you, you can always come through. It's
Yeah,
not,
ain't that
you don't
gotta
just
be
have to
happy.
have something to
Come pick it
promote.
with us.
You look amazing, by the way. You're glowing over there. I don't know.
Thank you. I was thinking my lips look too big and my eyes look too small. Thank you for saying that.
That's the hate talking. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, then I've got to do some CBT, and then I'll see what this looks like on YouTube later after I've done reframing of my mind.
They're gonna be trying to holler at you. They're gonna, the comments probably gonna be thirsty. I don't know. Maybe Amar Rashad might listen to this. I don't know.
Come on out there.
Dry, Ahmad. My hinge is mad dry at the moment. So,
you think when he DM, he gonna be like, my main woman, Rae Sanni.
I just want to have the same last name as a legendary actress. I'll take it.
Okay. Right. You think Rae Rashad sound good?
Rae Rashad sound real good, don't it?
Don't it though? Oh, Rae Sanni, somebody gonna hit your DMs, but like, I too like the James Bond. When I see you at the next event, come on out here, girl.
Right. Well, tell everybody once again, like where to find the show.
Yes, fine. Everybody Still Hates Chris. Wednesday nights at 10 on Comedy Central, and then Fubo TV, as you mentioned earlier. I did think it was on Paramount Plus, but I haven't been able to find it on Paramount Plus. So, in case it's not, try Fubo, try Comedy Central is preferable, actually. And then there's also a few episodes up on YouTube if you just want to check it out and see if it's your vibe. And then you can find me on Twitter at Rae Sanni, I think. Right? Yeah, at Rae Sanni, although I'm not using it as much as I used to. And then I'm on Instagram at Rae Sanni 87, and I'm going to like an influencer dinner on Tuesday because Threads really wants me on there to like work. Yes. So you might find me at Rae Sanni 87 on Threads as well. And I'm getting hardcore back into stand-up for real. I say that every time I'm on here, but I mean it this time. And so there are no boys distracting me right now. So, I'm going to, get on stage and talk about my titties and maybe make some jokes about Kamala Harris or something and hope that you guys like it. And I might start making TikToks. That might happen.
Yeah, do it. Shit, listen, I'll be trying with the TikToks. I like the coon stuff. I like going on there when I have a purpose. But like every once in a while now, I try to branch out and just do a TikTok about some bullshit. So let's do it together. Let's be out there.
Yeah, let's be on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was really fun.
No problem. Always. I can't wait to get your TikTok videos and do the incoming stitch and then just be the black man making weird faces because apparently that's popular.
And then you go more viral than me, and I'm gonna be like, what? Rod's fucking up money.
Right. How does that work? How the fuck? Anyway, that's not a skill set. All right, guys. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.